I was born on Friday, July 13th. Yes, Friday the 13th. I like to think that this has resulted in a lifetime of unfortunate luck, but there's nothing I can do to change it. My parents, Marley and Greg, met through mutual friends, and when my mom didn't get a call back, she took it upon herself to call my dad and say, "I like you. Do you like me? Great. Ask me out then." Who said romance was dead?
Something wrong?
Yes. Birth that creature.
Clearly they love me very much. I was an only child for the first 6 years of my life, and although I loved the attention, I always wanted a sibling, until I actually got one.
Hi!
Samuel is an eccentric kid. He's your typical 12-year-old brat and doesn't like to let me forget it either.
Ow! Yeah, friend.
But as much as he drives me crazy, I still love him. I describe myself as a pretty fun person, even though I spend half my time crying about absolutely nothing. Some of my pastimes include dancing in the street like an idiot and doing a full face of makeup just to sit in bed and watch Netflix. I've played hockey since a young age, and it's taken up a lot of my time. Sorry about all those classes I missed, Miss Siegel. But looking back at my hockey career, there's been some highs and lows. Lots of lows. With hockey being such a huge time commitment, I've kind of prided myself with my ability to balance the intense schedule with other interests, or as I like to refer to them as, my phases. I came across my first phase in grade 6 when I fell in love with The Walking Dead, going so far as writing my big speech at the end of the year on the history of zombies. The Walking Dead quickly moved into Doctor Who, and if anyone tries to tell me that the best Doctor isn't 10, I'll fight you. That's around the same time that we welcomed Rosie into the family, named after the Doctor Who character Rose Tyler, of course. Anyways, next came my emo phase, complete with My Chemical Romance band tees and a different hair color each month. This turned into the anime phase. And then the K-pop phase. And well, we don't really talk about these ones. One of my current writing inspirations is Douglas Copeland. I came across his writing for this Media Studies book report I had to write a couple months back. While he writes about his opinions on the changing landscape that is media, in essays, he also explores these themes with various short stories. One of the pieces that I really enjoyed and took inspiration from is Fear of Windows. The story follows a young girl with a phobia of windows and ends with aliens invading and abducting her parents and neighbors. And while the story can be quite gruesome, he writes it all with a light tone, almost like it was a children's book. As I've already alluded to, I don't take myself too seriously. So it shouldn't come as a surprise when I tell you that my next inspiration is the epitome of a man-child.
Got a couple friends that are vampires. We've had some pretty gnarly parties.
Oliver Tree is a professional scooterer, is that what it is? I guess so. Turned singer/rapper type of thing. And he doesn't take much seriously, including his music career. The lyrics he uses may seem meaningless, but they can actually be quite impactful.
Life is like black magic, but if one last spell gets cast, then make those LA Barbies plastic, make the press over dramatic.
These lyrics come from his song Welcome to LA, which continues to go on about how people in LA are troubled. But I think it's actually more about upper class society and ignorance towards things that don't affect them. I like the idea of something that covers an important subject that can often be unsettling for people to hear, presented in a way that's more appealing and lighthearted. Sometimes I think that gets the message across more effectively. Since I was young, I've always loved all things cheesy and cliche. The dumber the movie is, the more likely I'm going to love it. The only issue with loving bad movies is that it's hard to find people to go see them with you. I've forced friends to watch countless bad movies, like Geostorm.
Come on, baby.
When you have a love for bad movies, it's hard to convince people when there's an actual good one. Works by Taika Waititi, including Thor Ragnarok and What We Do in the Shadows, have served as great inspirations.
A ghost cop!
I'll never stop running.
Yeah, and I'll never stop chasing you. I'm relentless. I'm like the Terminator.
I'm more like Terminator than you.
I said it first. You're more like Sarah Connor.
No, I'm not.
Yes, in the first movie too, before she could do chin-ups.
The most impactful work, in my opinion, is Hunt for the Wilder People. It's a story about family and friendship, as well as loss, but it's executed in a way that by the end you're crying happy tears, as well as laughing so hard you have to rewind so you can hear the rest of the scene. Finding my previous work was a bit of a challenge for me and my superb organizing skills. I think I truly have a gift. One of my earliest documented writing pieces lies in the book I wrote about myself, My Book About Me. It's a poem about snakes. Extremely romantic and just, so well worded. Not a metaphor in sight, just simply snakes. Hopefully my writing's improved since then, but who knows. Throughout the year, I've struggled with turning off my defense mechanism of not taking myself seriously. The first piece I really struggled with was the variations on the word me poem we did at the beginning of the year. Poetry to me always felt like I was a 12-year-old girl in a movie writing songs and poems about the cute guy with the guitar she saw on the playground. Or some girl on Tumblr circa 2013. You know the ones. So when I was tasked to actually write something genuine, I procrastinated. The critiques I received included consider using more complex devices. I wonder if the procrastination had anything to do with that. Another factor was once again my fear of becoming the infamous Tumblr girl, or the internalized desire from when I was 12, when I really, really wanted to be one. Oh yeah, flower crown and everything. When it came time to write our slams, I got pretty excited. My knowledge of slam poetry came from 21 Jump Street, and so I married an axe murderer, and I was not expecting the emotional toll it would take. With the slam, I really wanted to try and find a new level of genuine to present, and I was actually proud of the outcome. Unfortunately, I lost the sheet with my feedback, typical, but it was probably a lot of missing a rubric, more rhetoric, and more complex devices. As I mentioned before, I love all things cliché, so I wanted to explore and mock that. I pulled out my repertoire of rom-coms and Wattpad stories I read in grade 7, and brought together the most unrealistic things about romantic comedies. The girl who has no job but lives in a large loft in downtown New York, or the brush of hands on a hot summer day. And who can forget Love at First Sight? All these were incorporated into my story, and it ended with a twist. Why don't you let me take these popsicles, and I'll let you take a taste of mine? The slap that punctuated his sentence echoed throughout the store. The dull thud of the popsicle box hitting the floor broke the woman out of her enraged state. Reaching down, she grabbed the box, and then she ran to the checkout. Even in her hurry, she didn't forget to stop and show the man her favorite finger. Next year I'll be attending Western University to do their MIT program, and I'll continue being a bit of a loser, and I'll also try and write a couple things down here and there.
I had my first love.